Here's what we got so far in the Monopoly game, and it's time to make another game piece. Alright, so I am going to go to a new layer, and with my cursor in the center there, I'm going to look from the front, Shift A, Mesh, UV Sphere. I'm going to use 18 and 8. I'm going to switch over to that darker material. I'm going to scale down, push over to the side a little bit, and come into actually vertex and wireframe. And let's get rid of those two, those two, those two, those two, keeping in mind we're getting the back ones as well because we're in wireframe. We get rid of all those X vertices. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to select it, just Shift D, rotate Z 180. We'll pull this out like that. And then I'm going to Shift Alt and click there and there. And actually, I think we need to get rid of those two as well, and these ones. So we just have just a rounded edge there. Okay, so I got that. There we go. Shift Alt and click here, and Control E, bridge edge loops, just like that. Alright, we'll go back into solid view, and on the underside in face selection, C, we will grab all of these faces, and then we're going to extrude downwards like this, and I'll just get rid of those faces like that. So this is what I've got. One more thing, I'll put an edge loop in there and Control B, make a region and roll my mouse up. I'll get one edge in there in the middle, select it, enable proportional editing and scale in the Z, and I just want to lower that. I just want to give a bit of that kind of effect there. And it really doesn't matter what we're going to do down here because that's going to be buried. SZ, 0 to straighten it though. Turn off proportional editing and add a subdivision surface. 2 with smoothing. We have sort of a bone-like structure. Okay, so you can experiment with how much you delete when you join those. And then what we'll do is I'll create a plane. I'm going to edit mode. I think I'll scale this in the X. I'm going to adjust the position of that bone. Bring it down a little ways. The whole thing is going to come down like that kind of thing. And flip the polys, and I'm going to just add some edge loops, as many as I want. Just a bunch like that. And then in vertex, I'm going to grab various points and pull them down to different amounts to create, sort of simulate sort of a rocky environment, and very simply though. Well, maybe not that one, maybe this one. It doesn't have to be exactly even. As you can see, we'll do that kind of thing. Okay, that's just like that. I'm going to Shift Alt to click there and apply that same subdivision. And then I'll come in and I'll bring an edge loop up pretty tight, and I'll bring one down here and I'll scale Z 0 to flatten that. Bring it down there. Might need another one, and we'll just get that kind of effect. Sort of a bit of a bumpy ground. I think I'll take this though, I'll scale it down. And let's set the origin of geometry and sort of center that up. I think I will rotate this in the Z, and we'll just rotate arbitrarily. So this thing is sort of sticking out of the ground there. Is that the right? Yeah. Okay, so if that's there, what we also need is a cylinder, and I'll go for I don't know, 20 and no ends. make a magnifying glass. Rotate X90. Scale it out. Let's scale Shift Y. I'm going to Shift Alt and click this edge and use it. This one right here. Shift D and bring it out a bit. P and I'll break it out. So it's a new object. Set the origin of geometry. Let's rotate X90. And go into this. Select it. Scale it bigger. E and S to give it some width. Select it. E. We'll give it some height. Flip the polys. And then Shift Alt and click all of these edges. Let's bevel. Control B. And I'll roll my mouse up one. Like that. Okay, let's set the origin of geometry on some of these things. Okay, this guy, let's scale Shift Y. Again, scale Shift Y. Like that. And let's do a subdivision surface on there. And what we'll do with this is I'll grab one of these edges, Shift D and P to break it out. I'll set the origin of geometry, but I'm not going to keep the subdivision surface on that. I'm going to come in and F, select it, F to make a face, so big Ingon, looking wireframe. E, and I'm just going to bring it right down like that, a big thick glass, so we can see it through there. Maybe scale in this head, maybe not quite that thick. Select it all and maybe flip my polys. So I got that. It doesn't have to be that thick, I suppose. Hang on a second. Let's scale this in this head smaller like that. Okay, maybe I'll do it like that. Yeah, okay, that's better. And for this guy, what we'll do is let's just E and S, E and S this way. Close it off, and we'll do a couple more. E and Alt S. I'm going to need edge loops, or loop cuts, or whatever you want to call them. I'll probably need more, but we'll put on that subdivision surface. That might be good enough. Just curious to see what it'd be like if that part joined. I think I like that better. So let's come in here, grab this edge and just pull it in. Okay. Okay, big bone, small magnifier glass. Okay, let's adjust this. And then I'm going to Control G to make that a group. I'm going to rotate Y90. I'm going to rotate this in the X. I want it a little bit embedded. And I also want it to rotate while resting against the bone a bit. That's fine, something like that. And then the last thing I would do is I'd bring in a cube. We could try a cube and see if we like that effect. And in face selection, I grab that and extrude it up and scale it quite far in. And this one would go down like this. We could try just a bevel and see if we like that. I don't know, versus a subdivision surface. Where am I missing it on this side? Point. Yeah, no. How big do those need to be? There's that idea. And there's also this idea, cylinder 6 sides. And coming up and scaling quite far in. Maybe grid fill. Let me do it. Okay, I don't care. All right, I'll just do that and take the whole thing. There's that one. If we prefer. Let's see how well I can throw in edge loops here. Does that get everything? No, one more. Oh, this guy. I don't have too many on there on one side. I mean, I've got extra ones on the other, on one side. Let's try that. There's that style as well. Getting up in polys. Okay, so this is like a little geology one. bones and all that stuff. I'll select it all and Control G. And if I look with respect to the board, a little bit long. I'll just make it smaller like that. Let's have a look in material view. I'll make it smaller yet. Rotated the whole thing around. Let's try. Did I get everything? I might like that view more. Yeah, that's the general idea. I can make it taller if I wanted to. Just increase the height of the rock area here. Maybe I'll try that. Here's the last thing. And I'll do it from here. Maybe, yeah, okay, that's fine. In fact, I think I'm going to SZ0 that. There we go. Just leave it like that. And Shift G. Get the whole group, bring them up like that. Let's see if it plays better. Cool. All right, there's my little geology scene.